All right, today we're diving into Lost Spring, a really powerful story by Anise Jung about stolen childhood. It pulls back the curtain on a world where something as simple as a dream, well, it can be a luxury that most people just can't afford. And our story begins with one simple but profound wish. It all kicks off with this one simple line from a young boy named Mukesh. I want to drive a car. Now, in his world, a wish like this isn't just a dream. It's basically an act of rebellion. And believe it or not, that single sentence holds the key to his entire story. So, to really get where Mukesh is coming from, you have to understand where he lives, Firozabad. This place is known all across India as the heart of the country's glass bangle industry. Its reputation has been built on generations and generations of incredible craftsmanship. For decades, when you said Firozabad, you were really talking about these beautiful, shimmering glass bangles. They're a huge part of Indian culture. Family after family has spent their entire lives working in the glass furnaces, creating these amazing symbols of tradition and beauty. But, that's only one side of the story. Because behind all of that glimmering, beautiful glass, there's a hidden cost. A pretty devastating one, actually. And this is where you really see the two faces of Firozabad, right next to each other. On one hand, you've got the facade, this beautiful, celebrated product. But the reality for the people who make them? It's a world of misery. The heat, the suffering, the child labor, it's all hidden behind the very things people admire. I mean, just imagine the conditions these kids are born into. They live in these tiny, falling-apart houses and work in dangerously hot, dark rooms, breathing in polluted air all day long. And the most tragic part, the absolute irony of it all, is that the work of making these bright, colorful bangles often makes these children lose their eyesight before they're even adults. So you gotta ask, right? Why don't they just leave? Why do families stay in these conditions for generations? Well, the answer isn't just about money. It's way deeper than that. It's a psychological trap, one that's tangled up in tradition and this idea of fate. At the heart of it all is this concept of karam, or destiny. It's this powerful belief that your life path, to be born a bangle maker and to die one, is already decided for you. It's a mindset of submission that stops people from even imagining that another life is possible. And that belief, it fuels this horrible, vicious cycle that feels impossible to escape. It starts with middlemen and moneylenders exploiting them. That leads to crushing family debt that gets passed down from one generation to the next. To survive, kids are forced to work instead of going to school, so they never get the education to break free. And it all ends in that final step, just accepting that this is their karam, their fate. But just when things seem totally hopeless, one small voice dares to imagine something else. And this is where we come back to Mukesh. See, unlike pretty much everyone around him, Mukesh just refuses to accept his destiny. He looks at the world and actually sees a different path. He doesn't want to make bangles. He wants to be a motor mechanic. He wants to be the one in charge of his own life. And you have to understand, in his world, a dream like this is absolutely revolutionary. It goes against generations of family tradition, against the entire social system. It's this tiny spark of hope that says, hey, maybe destiny can be changed. In a place where dreaming is a luxury, his quiet courage is a huge act of rebellion. Okay, so to really grasp the weight of this story, we need to decode some of the powerful symbols that are woven all through it. The symbols here are so telling. Those beautiful bangles, they stand for a kind of beauty that hides deep pain and exploitation. The dark workshops, they represent the ignorance and total lack of opportunity that keeps people trapped. And then you have Mukesh's dream. That's the ultimate symbol of hope, of resistance, and of the courage to believe in a different future. So in the end, Mukesh's dream isn't just some fantasy. It's a real ray of light that cuts through the darkness of Firozabad. It's proof that even in the toughest, most oppressive situations, change always starts with a single daring aspiration. And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. Mukesh's story is his, but the question it brings up is for all of us. What does it really take to find the courage to dream, especially when you feel like you're completely surrounded by darkness?